Good morning, sixth graders. Today is Monday, November 9th, and today we're going to be continuing our talk about the religion of Islam. Remember, Islam is the third monotheistic religion that we've studied in this unit. The first was Judaism, then we talked about Christianity, and now we've been talking about Islam. So before we get started, what you're going to do is finish filling in this graphic organizer. Mr. Amadio has already filled in one of the answers for you. Our religion is Islam, and we know the founder of that religion was a man named Muhammad. Go ahead and fill in the remaining information for the holy book, holy place or places, the number of gods, and what the believers are called. Pause the video to do this now, and your teacher will check on these answers. All right, welcome. So today's topic is going to be the 5 pillars of Islam. The 5 pillars of Islam are the 5 basic beliefs that someone needs to do in order to be a Muslim. First, there's faith, then prayer, charity, fasting, and pilgrimage. Let's go ahead and learn more about the 5 pillars of Islam. The first thing you're going to do is fill in these 2 notes. The 5 pillars of Islam are the 5 main beliefs that every Muslim is expected to perform according to the Quran. The Quran, remember, is Islam's holy book. What I'd like to do now is actually edit this PowerPoint to show you another way that the Quran can be spelled. And it's spelled like that. So you might see it either way. So what we're going to do together first is look at the first pillar of Islam. And what we need to do is annotate this passage. And there's going to be 3 parts that we need to answer after we annotate this passage. But what's extremely important is that we annotate our passages first. So I'm going to show you how to annotate a passage for this. And then once we complete the first pillar together, you're going to go on in this station to the 4th pillar. So when we annotate, this is what I'm going to be looking for and what your teachers are going to be looking for on your page. You need to circle vocabulary or keywords. Underline evidence that you want to use, and put a star next to interesting information. So, I went through the first passage and I circled all the key words in that first passage first. But what I did first was read it, and as I read it, I circled. So please read along and circle the keywords as you read along. The first pillar of faith is Shahada, the The first pillar of faith is Shahada, the declaration of faith. To show belief in God and in Muhammad's prophethood, a Muslim says, "There is no God but God, and Muhammad is the messenger of God." The first part of the Shahada is stating their belief in monotheism. I want to pause this here to draw attention to the fact that Muhammad, monotheism are 2 words that are vocabulary words that we've learned, so I circled those. Muslim is also a vocabulary word, so I circled that one. And I also circled faith in God because I feel like those are just very important words in this passage. Like Christians and Jews Muslims believe that one all-powerful God, whom they call Allah, created the universe. They believe this God spoke to humans through a number of prophets. These prophets include Moses and Jesus, who are also a part of Jewish and Christian beliefs. The Quran also includes these prophets. The second part of the Shahada says that Muhammad is the messenger of God. Muslims believe that God spoke to Muhammad and sent the message of Islam through him. The Shahada is a part of Muslims' everyday life, not just prayers. Parents whisper it into their babies' ears. Muslims try to say the Shahada as their last words before death. Students who are about to take a difficult exam say the Shahada to help them while they are focusing. Muslims also believe that all souls will face a day of judgment. After they die, God will consider all their actions. Those who have lived according to God's rules will be rewarded and allowed to enter heaven. Those who have done evil or not believed in God will be punished by falling into hell. So as I read through, I circled all these key words, and this should be done on your page as well. After that, I went back through the passage to find important evidence that tells me that the Shahada is all about faith. The first pillar is all about faith. These are the things I underlined that showed me good evidence, or that are good evidence that shows that the first pillar is about faith in God. Go ahead and underline these sentences now. Then lastly, what I did is I found a couple interesting pieces of information that I just personally found interesting, and I put a star next to them. I put a star next to the sentence, students who are about to take a difficult exam say the Shahada to help them while they are focusing. And I also put a star next to Muslims also believe that all souls will face a judgment day. Go ahead and put stars next to this or any other information that you found interesting. All right, now on to this part. What I had to do here was answer the questions based off the passage. So the first question says, my pillar is best described in English as, it's more of a fill in the blank. And I found that answer in the first sentence and also the title. The title gives a parenthesis of the English translation. So what I filled in is, my pillar is best described in English as the declaration of faith in God. According to this pillar, Muslims believe that if you say your faith in God, then you will be rewarded by going to heaven. Oop. Sorry, y'all, there's a little error. And then what I did is I just copied down the evidence that I underlined in the passage right here. So the next part is going to be you doing this on your own with the fourth pillar. I will read aloud, but I want you to circle any keywords, underline evidence, and put stars next to interesting information. The fourth pillar, Psalm. The fourth pillar of faith is Psalm, or fasting, going without food. So fasting means when you take a time period to purpose